Hi everyone, it's Rax. Today I want to bring you a video where I'm going to talk about what is by a huge mile the biggest problem with Diablo 4. Nothing else is even close. I need every developer to stop what they're working on. Season 1 is canceled. There's no new expansions. There's no new classes, no class balancing, nothing. We need to put all hands on deck here. Now, I'm going to try to be as constructive as possible. I just want the game to get better. Try not to be mad here. Let's just talk about it. And the problem, of course, if you hadn't guessed yet, is crowd control. And if you don't think crowd control is a problem, you need to be thrown into a pool with starving piranhas with laser beams on their head, because that's what you deserve if you don't hold this opinion. I think the reason why this is broken is because Blizzard kept reusing a philosophy which works for every other aspect of the game, and they use that same philosophy for crowd control, and it doesn't work. So let's understand what that might mean. Let's take an example. Let's take my little barbarian here. Okay, I got my little barbarian. I'm level 1. Okay, one day I'm going to have 4 weapons because I'm a barb. It's going to be great. Now let's understand the journey through Diablo 4. And the thing that Blizzard is constantly doing is they're giving you problems to solve, which is the baseline of a fantastic game. I'm not saying problems in a bad way. I'm saying problems in a fantastic way. So, for example, the first thing you need to do is you just need to make your build. You need to make your build work at all. You gain a couple levels, you get your whirlwind, you get a couple of shouts, you get your leap, and then you can actually play. The problem is you start with just your generator, you can't do anything. And a little bit later, as you put in effort, you got something that looks kind of like a build. So that's nice. Okay, so then the second thing is you got to start finding your legendary powers. Anybody ever leveled a druid before? You can't do anything until you find some kind of legendary power. Okay, but once you find a couple of them here and there, you can actually start doing stuff. And then, of course, as you iterate through the game, you get all of your legendary powers. You get them on all the right pieces. You get the right stat or the right ranges for the legendary powers. Then you get the uniques. Okay, they're giving you a problem to solve, and that's nice. And then maybe the next thing is your movement. Every class is really slow, and then all of a sudden in the end game, you build in a lot of movement, and then you're really fast. And then the next thing, the fun one, is the cooldown. They nerfed barbarians to the point where you need pretty much everything perfect on every single slot and everything available to you to bring back your shouts. You have to have the disembowel glyph. You have to have the martial glyph. You have to have the Rage of Harrogath. You have to have a perfect cooldown roll in your helmet. You have to have a perfect cooldown roll on your amulet. And then you have to have a bold chieftains, preferably with a 1.9 power. Can you tell I played a lot of barbarian? I know this class. So if you have all of that, then your shouts can come back up. Almost 100%, but it requires you to get perfect everything and to understand the game. Honestly, it's not a bad state. People are mad that they took away shout cooldown and this and that. They're giving you a problem to solve your cooldown. And you can solve it. You just need literally everything in the game. Okay, and then you have your renown. You run around. Okay, you get famous in every single zone. It's something you have to work on, do a million side quests, click all the altars of Lilith. It's a problem to solve. Okay, you get the idea. So then you have the Paragon and the glyphs. That takes forever. Level to 100, get the glyphs to level 21. At least level 15 takes forever. A problem to solve. You get the idea. You got the pinnacle bosses. Then you get the elixirs and the re-rolling, which costs 1 million gold. And then you have to do Helltide for the Forgotten Souls. Problems to solve, right? We get it. Then they said, I got another problem to solve, Rax. Crowd control. And this is the downfall of Diablo 4. This is completely wrong. Now, I have played pretty much every game like Diablo 4 ever. All of them. Played Lost Ark, I played WoW, played all the Diablos, played Path of Exile, played Wolcen, played Last Epoch, played Torchlight, all of them. I played them all. There is no game, none. Probably the closest one maybe is Lost Ark, but Lost Ark is just nowhere near as bad as far as like punishing for attacks. In terms of crowd control is Diablo 4, and that is not how Diablo 4 wants to be ran. You can do a dungeon with the little spiders. Any endgame player is going to know exactly what I'm talking about. You know those little spiders that can just chain root you forever? Sometimes they're even dead and you're walking and you get rooted. And who knows why. There's maybe something on the ground or whatever. You get rooted anyway. Have you ever fought a nightmare dungeon with cold enchanted. They just chain freeze you infinitely. It's unbelievable. So the problem that they're trying to make you solve is they're trying to make you get unstoppable all the time, or they're trying to give you a problem to solve in your play, trying to make you dodge everything. But the level of crowd control, the duration of the crowd control, the lack of DR on crowd control that they put in the game, there is really no way to outskill it. I mean, I'm playing a rogue, and I mean, my rogue just dominates everything. But if I dash into a room and it's cold enchanted, there's nothing I can do. The chase for unstoppable, I think, was a very incorrect game design. I think that here's what we don't need. I don't want patch notes where Blizzard said, we removed the roots from the spiders and we nerfed cold enchanted. That's absolutely not what I want. If we get that, it's going to be a giant double thumbs down. What we need is a philosophy change. We need to call a Saturday meeting at Blizzard. We need to order donuts and coffee. We need to, open up with some icebreakers, and then we need to say, we need a different method of crowd control in the game. The durations of the crowd controls need to be much lower. There needs to be some kind of DRs in the game so you don't get chain crowd control. And it has nothing to do with the difficulty of the game or the skill of the game. Blizzard has already demonstrated that they can design pinnacle content that's extremely hard, that 99.999% of people can't clear without any crowd control. That's Uber Lilith. She doesn't have any crowd control at all. You never lose control of your character, other than when you're running around and you run into the fatties and then they kill you because they're too fat and you can't get around them. There's no crowd control in Uber Lilith, and there's not a single person watching this video who can kill her without an exploit. Not one of you can kill her. So, I think there's only been one legit kill in the entire world. It happened yesterday with a rogue, which was an incredible clear. You can have very, very difficult content without crowd control. That's not the problem. The problem is, here's what it boils down to. You can talk about all the game mechanics and game theories that you can possibly think of. I can boil it down to one simple thing, which will hurt much worse than any of those things. It just makes the game not fun. It's not fun to go into a dungeon and be afraid that if my unstoppable falls off for 1 second, I'm going to get chain rooted 5 times. Or I'm going to get frozen into a big stun, into a fear, into whatever. This is by far the biggest problem with Diablo 4. It is the thing that makes the game the most unfun, is that a word? Not fun, unfun for me while playing the game. Everything else in the game that's a problem. The class balance, how people gain XP with the super good dungeons, the glitchy stuff on Uber Lilith, anything else that they're releasing, it has a big and bright future. It looks pretty good. The game is fun other than this. I am literally begging Blizzard. I've reported this in every testing phase that I've ever been involved in the game. Please, we need a philosophy change on crowd control. I would love it if you would address crowd control and what you think about it in the next blog post. It's not just me. I've heard about this from everybody, anybody watching this video. Do 90% of your deaths come from crowd control or on-death effects? Oh, you killed something, you walk up. I have no idea why they took PoE's worst mechanic and doubled down on it and put 100 of them in the game. I don't know why everything blows up with explosion or mortar or whatever. I don't know why that happens. It's so hard to deal with, especially when you use an ability like Death Trap or Whirlwind that pulls everything in and you're DPSing. You just have to guess. You can't see what the hell's under you. So I guess you just have to assume all the time that something under you is going to explode. So the moment you start doing damage, you have to move away. That's stupid. It's not fun. It has nothing to do with skill. Anyway, trying to keep it positive. I'm trying to keep it constructive. There's so many things. There's so many problems that you created in the game that are fun to solve and do work. Kripparrian made a video about sort of the same thing, and he talked about some other things like armor versus resistances and different things. And a lot of the things that he said that I agree with, but I think this is by far the biggest problem, and this is the number one thing that's making your game not fun to play. Using the same methodology to force you to have perma unstoppable, which is very hard for every class except for like druids and barbs, is really, really not working at all. And I think it should be absolutely abolished right now and for the future development of Diablo 4. You don't want to be known as the game where you literally have your hands off of the keyboard 90% of the time, because that's how I truly feel. I'm just being honest. I hope this video comes across constructively. If you disagree, don't even bother posting down below. We're going to pick you up. We got a giant pool with some hungry piranhas waiting for you. You're completely wrong, and you're not invited to my birthday party. Thank you.